Hey, what's up, you guys? So I took a bit of a break. Um, for one, I needed a break from making so many videos in October, and I needed to catch up on a lot of stuff, reading, and I caught up on a lot of shows, the Arrowverse. I had a lot of episodes recorded on the DVR, and I caught up on the Netflix's Marvel shows. So now I'm all caught up with that, and I have several videos planned out in December. So I'm back. That break was much needed. So hopefully you guys haven't missed me too much. So I kicked off my month with a series I gambled on. Well, a trilogy. I found the last book in this trilogy at a thrift store, and I didn't want it to turn out to be like the Wheel of Time series because, as you may know from like an earlier video, I talked about this. The Wheel of Time series, I was at a thrift store and I found like three of the books, and I didn't buy it, and I wound up regretting it when I went home when I found out more about the series. And when I went back to that thrift store after the weekend because they were closed, the books were gone. I didn't get there in time. And then I had to collect them all 14 books off of 15 counting the prequel. I think. Am I miscounting? I don't know, but or it may be 14 counting the prequel. I may be off one book, but anyway, I had to wind up collecting them all on eBay. So I didn't want this series to turn out like the Wheel of Time series, me regretting it. So I found the last book, and I had to look it up, see what the reviews were right then and there, and I didn't know if it'd be good or not. So I'm like, well, it's only three books. I can get the first two really cheap on eBay. So I took the gamble. I bought them all, and I finally got around to reading the first book this month. And I probably have had them now for like maybe 3 or 4 months. So I finally got around to it, and that is Beyonders, the trilogy. Um, so I actually really enjoyed the first book. It wasn't what I expected it to be. It was an adventure fantasy book, and I really like adventure books. I really enjoy it. So it's basically this kid named Jason. He works at a zoo, um, and he hears like this music coming from this hippo, and well, he falls into the little enclosure where the hippo is, and the hippo like swallows him, and he goes to this different universe or dimension, and he learns some things along the way about this evil, like I don't know, this ruler of this place or this land named Maldor. And well, he stumbles across this library, and he learns about this forbidden side of the library that he's not supposed to go to. He does anyway. He finds this book, and it has like a part of a word in the book. And well, once you stumble across that and learn of the word, then Maldor, he like knows somehow, and he just watches you. And if you learn so much of a word, and Maldor thinks that you're a threat, he could assassinate you or have you assassinated. And so I really like the journey of um, his journey finding the rest of the word, because you have to find all the syllables, put the word together, and if you say it in Mordor's presence, you'll kill him. And he Jason stumbles across, or not really stumbles across, but he meets this other Beyonder named Rachel, and they go on the journey together. And Beyonder is a person that comes to this place, this other dimension from another dimension. And so yeah, I really liked the adventure, and but unfortunately, all the twists and turns in the book I saw coming from a mile away. They were really predictable, and I was highly disappointed because every time I don't want to get into spoilers, but I kind of want to talk about it. But every time something would happen, I'd be a little suspicious about it, and then my suspicions uh, would be made true. And I'm like, man, I really wanted that to go a different way than what I was thinking because I wanted it to be a surprise, but it unfortunately it wasn't. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I would read it again, and I would continue the trilogy, which I'm planning on doing next year. Um, so the next one I read Stephen King's new novella, um, Elevation, and as you can see, I never take the damn stickers off my books. And by the way, a little side rant. I think that price is a little bit too much for, how small this book is. It should have been at least $7, but yeah, they went with $13. And I thought that was outrageous. But so this book is about this guy like losing weight, and um he's not changing his appearance. He still looks fat, but he keeps dropping weight. And when he gets on the scales holding something heavy, his weight won't change. It never goes up. The main character is Scott, and he realizes that one day he is going to reach zero, zero weight. So he fears that he's gonna die when this day comes. And he also has two lesbian neighbors, and one's nice and one's a bitch. You'll probably get mad at her if you read the book. She's just a bitch for no reason at first, but then you kind of learn like why. But he wants to uh, I don't know, be friends with her, and she just pushes him away, and he keeps trying and trying. But I don't want to say any more than that because the book is really tiny, and I would risk spoiling stuff. It's only 140 something pages, so you can get done with it in no time. Like me. Yeah, I liked it. It was okay. There's nothing scary about it. It's Stephen King really shows that he can do just about any story he wants and do it good. Um, he's just well when you hear the name Stephen King, like most people think that oh he's all he writes is scary shit, but no. And this wasn't one of his scary books. He can prove that he can do other genres, and this was more like a drama to me. And yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. Um, yeah, I thought the book was interesting. Um, I mean, it was really short, so there wasn't a whole lot of character development, but there was enough there to keep me invested in the characters. Um, yeah, uh, it was good for what it was, and I think Stephen King fans um, would like it. Uh, you might want to wait until Stephen King comes out with another anthology book to get this story included, into a thicker book with other stories. Because $14. I know I said 13 earlier, but it's actually over $14. Yeah, it's a bit too much for this book. Uh, it deserves like half the price. But yeah, On to the next one, which is a kid's book, Bony-Legs. This was an old childhood book that I used to read a lot when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. And here's a picture of it. I don't actually own a copy of this book, unfortunately. Um, I listened to the audiobook on YouTube, and it's only like 6 minutes long. So it'd be impossible for me to talk about this book while not, or and not spoiling it. So the book is about a little girl who goes to see a witch because she needs, I forget what she needs, but like her grandma or mom sent her to this witch to get something. And along the way, she or she gets to the gate uh, of the woman's property, the witch's property, and she opens the gate, and it's really rusty and it squeaks and stuff. So she puts some butter on it, and it makes the gate not squeak anymore. And she gets to this barking dog. I can't talk tonight. This barking dog, and she feeds it breadcrumbs, and the dog quits barking, and it gives her a mirror and tells her basically she'll know when to use it. And so she meets this witch, and now when I seen this witch when I was little, it used to scare the hell out of me, and the fact that she's also like a cannibal scared me even more. And this was this was in a kid's book, but it ain't that surprising because Brothers Grimm used to do it, back in the day. Um, but it was surprising to me at the time because I wasn't used to that. Uh, so yeah, the witch wants to give the girl a bath, or she wants the little girl to take a bath before she eats her. So she tells her to go take a bath in the tub, and well, the little girl escapes due to the witch's cat helping her, and I think the cat gives her a comb, and yeah, basically tells her what the dog told her. Uh, she'll know when to use it. And so the witch starts running after her, and the girl or the gate slows the witch down. Man, I all these books jumble up together. I can barely remember this one. I should have listened to it again before the review or this video. But yeah. Uh, so she uses the stuff to slow down the witch, and it was a really silly story. I don't know why it used to scare me so much. Well, the witch does still look creepy, but yeah, it was a silly story. And if the grandma or mom knew that the woman was a witch, I still don't understand that part. Why she would send her daughter or granddaughter to the witch to get supplies or whatever. If the village knew that the witch was dangerous, I don't know. It's a kid's story. So I ended the month with Joe Hill, a Joe Hill novel, The Heart Shaped Box, and I was not expecting what the hell was gonna happen in this book. Oh yeah, and I didn't rate Bony-Legs. I'm not really gonna rate it anything because it's a tiny kid's book, and or I'm not gonna give it a rating because it wouldn't be fair. And since it's so tiny, and hell, I didn't even want to count it as a book I read, but it is a book, and so I counted it. But yeah, I'm not gonna rate it. So back to the heart shaped box. So this guy hears about this, or he finds this suit on this website that's like eBay, and the seller says that the suit is haunted, and he decides that he would take it off the woman's hands, and because he didn't believe in paranormal. So he buys the suit, and he paid like $1,000 for it. I'm like, man, you're really generous. But yeah, he buys the suit, and it's haunted. This old man starts haunting him and his wife, and yeah, this story is basically them running away from it. And there's a lot of creepy shit that happens in this book, and I was really surprised. And um, yeah, this is Stephen King's son, and he's as scary as his dad, and he can write just as good as his dad, and that's pretty damn cool because this book was a lot like reading a Stephen King book. I got a lot of Stephen King vibes in this book. He can write just like his daddy, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm gonna give this book a 4 out of 5, and I would highly recommend it. If you haven't read Joe Hill, it's like reading another Stephen King. That's the closest you can get to reading Stephen King. Um, Fuck Dean Koontz. I've always heard people say, "Who's the closest author to Stephen King?" And people say Dean Koontz. The hell. I've read some Dean Koontz books, and I don't get the same vibe uh, that I get from reading Joe Hill. Joe Hill is a lot like Stephen King. So if you really like Stephen King and you've read all of his books and you want more of that feeling, read Joe Hill. Hell, that's Stephen King's son. You can't get any closer than that. So yeah, guys, that is it for this video, and I've got a lot more planned for December. So be ready, because a lot of videos are gonna start coming out here soon. Um, if I don't get lazy, but yeah, two videos will come out. Reviews on 2 shows I've been watching, and so yeah, I don't want to say too much more because then I'll feel obligated to make them instead of just wanting to make them. I'll feel like I have to make them. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.